Today, I want to talk about my electronic music gear wish list for 2023. Freebeat. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Today's patron shout-out goes to Alex Thompson. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. The title says it all. Today, I just want to talk about the gear I am both expecting to use and hoping to use in 2023. Now, right now, I'm just going to say the gear I'm going to list in this video is just what I personally plan on working with, and like I said, also want to work with, but I'm also curious what you want me to work with this year as well. So at any point when you're watching this video, please go down, leave a comment, let me know what electronic music gear you'd like to see me work with, and maybe a video suggestion for that piece of gear if it's something I'm unfamiliar with. I'm really excited and looking forward to hopefully add in some new gear this year and change things up a little bit. So if you have any suggestions for any awesome electronic music gear you want me to work with in 2023, let me know in a comment below. Now, before I get into the exact list, I do have two honorable mentions. The first one, of course, is the Sonicware sample track. Technically, I did get this in 2022. It was like the last week of 2022, so it hardly counts, but obviously I'm going to be using this a lot in 2023. Just figured I would mention it. Again, another huge shout out to Sonicware for hooking it up with the sample track. I'm really enjoying it so far. Also, one thing that I plan to do in 2023 is to send my Deluge back to Synthstrom Audible for the screen upgrade, and then I will do a whole bunch of content with the new screen. It's really cool that they offer that service. I actually have a video all about that, and basically praising them for offering it for existing Deluge users rather than making anyone with a Deluge buy, or with an old Deluge buy a new unit. But yes, I do plan on upgrading the screen on my Deluge sometime this year. Also, really quick, I would just like to say that everything on this list, except for one piece of gear, is going to be less than $1,000 US. And I do try to keep things under the $500 mark for the most part. I have a video talking about what budget electronic music gear means to me and the channel, so feel free to check that out if you'd like. But with that being said, the first piece of electronic music gear on my list that I'd like to check out this year is the MV1, the Roland Verse Lab. I'm not sure if it's permanent or not, but right now you can actually get the Verse Lab for $499 US, which looks to be a really great deal. This is a full studio on the go is basically what they are marketing it as, which I know so many groove boxes are marketed like that. But the MV1, the Verse Lab, has a real focus on vocals and finished songs. So it has a lot of vocal effects in there. It's got microphone inputs on the back. It's a Roland product, so you do get all of their amazing sounds. They've got some great presets, some of the best presets in the game, in my opinion. And the workflow looks really, really cool. I love that it has a separate sequencer row from the pads, which is really, really nice, and I just can't wait to get my hands on one. A lot of you probably know that I am always looking for something that'll make the process of making a full song easier. So far, the closest thing I've come to finding something that makes it easier is the Polyend Tracker, but I'm feeling like the Verse Lab might actually help out in that category quite a bit. Next up, it's another Roland product. It's the MC101. Now, this little groove box is a couple years old at this point. I'm definitely late to the party in wanting to use it. Well, I've wanted to use it for a while, but I just didn't find the time last year. It is a 4-track groove box, but there's a bunch of workarounds for that. I'm actually not as familiar with the features on it as I am with a lot of the other pieces of gear on this list, and that's because I haven't really looked into it that much, other than a few just like basic walkthrough videos. I've watched a lot of Gabe Miller's content on it, and that's really about it. I'm really interested in the form factor, though. It looks to be pretty small and battery-powered, which definitely speaks to me, as I like to be able to take my gear on the go with me. So I am very much looking forward to trying the MC101 out, and I know it has a track export as well, which is really cool. It means you can finish your songs on the computer. Yeah, just really looking forward to trying out the MC101. Okay, I promise this next item is the last Roland piece of gear on the list, but it is the SP404 Mark II. 2. I actually have this lined up to be used in a special project later in the year that's been in the works for, I don't know, like 6 months now at this point. Very excited to get my hands on one and give it a shot. I don't really know too much about the SP series other than they have legendary status among beat makers and sample flippers, so I am excited to give it a shot and see what it can do. The project that I have it lined up for is a pretty good one, I think, and I really hope everybody likes it, so be sure to look for that probably in the second half of 2023. Next up is the Novation Circuit Rhythm. Now, I tried the circuit tracks about a year and a half ago, and I actually did not really care for it at the time, and I caught a lot of flack for that. I wound up returning it, and the reason I didn't like it was because I was trying to use it as a replacement for my OPZ, which even at that time was already starting to show signs of failure, and it was definitely not an OPZ replacement. It just didn't have the depth that I was really looking for in terms of the arrangement. The sound editor using the Components app was very, very flexible. The workflow itself was amazing. I really, really enjoyed the workflow, but there just were not enough patterns, and the patterns couldn't be long enough for the type of music that I really wanted to make, which is more traditional, verse, chorus, verse, bridge, that kind of thing, but with unique components in every single section, much like an acoustic band would record. I recognize why it's so popular and how great the workflow is. It just didn't really work for me. However, the Circuit Rhythm is a sample-based groove box that uses the same workflow. It still has the same restrictions to amount of patterns and the length of those patterns, but it has 8 identical sample tracks, and that could actually lend to some longer songs with some clever arranging. Also, the fact that it uses samples is going to factor heavily into yet another project I have going on here at the channel for this year. It is 2023 now for this year, and that will also probably be, probably right about the middle of the year or so. Filming for that project actually begins pretty soon on the channel. So yeah, I keep saying I'm excited for things, but I really am. I've been looking forward to this one for a good amount of time. Next up, it's the Razzmatazz, the drum machine from 1010 Music. This little thing has really piqued my interest. I don't have any projects or anything associated with this little drum machine. I just really want to use it. The idea of combining synthesis with samples to make your drum sounds in such a tiny form factor is just really, really cool. And the fact that it's got MIDI has me wanting to try and control it with my electronic drum set. And just the other day, I was actually reading the manual, and velocity is a modulation source for a whole bunch of different parameters. So I feel like I could get some pretty playable stuff out of it, sending velocity, how hard I hit the drum pads to different parameters. So I'm really looking forward to playing around with that and seeing what it can do. Hoping to get my hands on the 1010 Razzmatazz sometime this year. And finally, the big one on my list this year is the Akai Force. I've been putting it off for far too long. I just need to get my hands on a Force and try it out. I know it's expensive. It's like $1,300 US. I will more than likely borrow it from Zounds rather than buy one for myself, especially because I don't know if I'll love it yet. But having the big screen with the sequencer-based workflow and all of the onboard controls, I don't know, from everything I've seen using the Akai Force, it looks really, really cool. Everybody says it's awesome. I also now have a stand that I think will fit it. If you watched the latest Freebeat live show, 20K New Year's celebration, I put my MPC on a big standing stand thing, and I think that will hold the Force, so I'll actually have a way to keep it permanently set up while I work with it, which is exactly what I feel like it needs. Very excited to use the Force and see what it can do. I know so many of you have been waiting for that, so really I am hoping to bring that content to you sometime this year as well. So there we go. Those are the main pieces of gear I'm looking at this year. I'm sure some other little stuff will make its way in there, like the Volca Sample 2 is on my list. I've got some effects on my list that I want to check out. But everything I listed today, those are the big ones that I'm going to try my hardest to get my hands on and that I've already started to kind of plan content around for 2023. Now, again, if I did not list something that you want me to try, let me know in a comment below. I am really looking forward to reading your comments and seeing what gear you want me to try out on the channel this year, so please have at it down in that comment section. I'm really looking forward to all the content I have lined up for you all in 2023. I hope you are all looking forward to it as well. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.